Good morning. You are listening to WCEG.radio.com. You can do a like in Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to check out the page and the videos we have for this platform. Today we have Ray White, and I'm gonna let her to introduce a little bit, because remember, October is the Hispanic month, but also it's almost the end of the year. So many people is planning goals for next year, and it is a good opportunity to hear for professionals, but also for builders. And that's why today I invite Ray White so she can let us know what she's doing and how she started. Hi, Ray.
Hello. How you doing? Thank you for having me. So yeah, my name is Ray. I am the founder of Teson magazine, which is a Spanish language magazine that highlights Afro-Latino entrepreneurs across Latin America and also here in the U.S. So we currently have reach, of course, here in the U.S., but also in countries like Colombia, Cuba, Panama, Venezuela, Peru, Ecuador. So we're all over the place.
Well, that's great. And how how you started with this idea of the project?
Yeah, so I majored in Spanish. I'm from Georgia. I majored in Spanish. And also, I was an interpreter for 8 years for a major healthcare system here in the Metro Atlanta area. And I just really honestly did not see a lot of Black representation, to be honest. It was just so surprising to me that so many people did not realize that there are Black people all over Latin America, Afro descendants. And also for me as myself being a student of Spanish, I did not actually have that representation growing up learning the language. Like all of our books, everything that we learned, you never saw anything about African descent. So when I actually started going to countries like Colombia and Panama, and I actually was able to have real interactions with people who looked just like me, hair just like mine, braids, afros, everything. I was just so, I was just so excited. I just wanted to connect more. And I just really wanted to do something to help bring more representation to the Afro Latina community.
That's great. And it's very important, to bring diversity, but also embrace that with actions and also spreading into the community. So that is great. Great, great. And because, today the show is short, but before the time run, how people can get in touch with you?
Of
How
course.
mhm.
So on our platforms, it is Teson Magazine, which is Teson magazine spelled out. And that's on everything except for TikTok. TikTok, there is a period in between Teson and magazine. And then, of course, our website as well is tesonmagazine.com.
Okay, that's great. So you speak fluently Spanish.
Claro que sí.
Oh,
Yo tengo muchos
yeah.
años aprendiendo y todo eso así.
How you started working on your language? How you build the Spanish on you?
So honestly, it was a requirement in school to take a foreign language. I chose Spanish in high school as my foreign language. And I really was honestly more into acting and the theater and behind the scenes of all of that. But someone told me, like while you're working on that, how about you be an interpreter so you can still make pretty decent money? And I actually was like taking it to heart. I was like, you know what? That's actually a really good idea. And then actually the Spanish just kind of took more over the theater. And I really started to like the Spanish language more than I like theater. So I focused on that, decided to major in that in college. After I graduated from college, went on to work in the healthcare industry as a medical interpreter for 8 years. And after that, transitioned over to journalism. So that's where I'm at now.
Oh, that's very interesting. And being bilingual and Afro Latina, how this had been influenced your circle or other people who you interact.
So me personally, I'm not Afro Latina. All of my family is from the United States, from North Carolina. So I don't have any Latina heritage. But I just love the language so much. I love the culture. I love just in general, love meeting people from other places. And honestly, once I became bilingual and started talking to people, like they were just so excited, like not even just Afro Latinas, but the Hispanic community in general. They were just so excited to see someone who's not Hispanic or not Latina, like actually taking the time to really truly learn the language and learn the culture. And so it's just been a lot of positive feedback. And then, of course, when I started focusing on bringing more Afro Latino representation into it with my business, people were even more excited and like, wow, like you're not even Afro Latina, but you're like really standing up for our representation. And it's just like been a really awesome experience to connect with people and talk to people and hear their experiences. And especially within the Afro Latino community, like a lot of those experiences are just like experiences for African Americans, like the hair struggles, the straightening your hair versus being able to accept your natural hair, like light skin versus dark skin, like all these different things. It exists in all these other countries. So it's just so amazing to be able to see the similarities across the diaspora.
Yeah, it's very interesting because few years ago, I was well, I received a proposal to participate in an event from Afro Latinas. And the person who invited me asking me, but you have Afro roots? And I say, no, but well, it's just very complex because right now there are groups like Afro Latinas, Latinx, it's like communities has been diversified in different groups. And when the conversation come and they asking you, but you have roots of Afro, you have roots for Latin, it gets confused because I feel every person that identifies with the community and works in the community and take actions to integrate the diversity is, in my opinion, is not necessary you have the roots. It's meaningful. You are working with this part of the communities, you
Mhm.
know. So
Yeah, yeah. I don't think that you necessarily have to be exactly from that culture or that. And that's honestly for me something I just honestly feel personally. I feel like it is not only the responsibility of that particular group to bring more representation and support. I feel like other people outside of that should also be helping as well. Because if not, you're not really going to see the change. Because if
yeah,
you want to see more representation for, like, for example, for Afro Latinos in media and things like that, it takes more than just the Afro Latina community to do that. And that's with any type of thing that you're trying to promote or support or bring more awareness to, right? It's the responsibility of all of us to be culturally aware, to be accepting, to want to learn about and be more diverse and immerse ourselves in that for sure.
yeah, yeah, and I hope this change because I feel some groups feel or make feel very exclusive, to some
Yeah,
persons for
yeah,
the appearance, and not for what they are doing or what they can offer to the community. So it's very interesting, and I think there should be more conversation about it,
yeah.
so that way we can integrate more flexible, welcome more diverse people into the groups. So,
Yeah,
but it's very important, and I applaud and admire the work you do because a magazine, work in a magazine with different communities, spreading the ideas and spreading also, the growth, personal growth into the different communities it's just amazing, and also it takes time, um it's community work too, in different level, but it's community work.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely, I feel like with magazines, people just think that it's like a bunch of pages put together. And it's just so much more complex than that. I mean, trying to get graphic design,
Yeah, it's a lot.
writing them together, doing all the interviews, doing all the research. Yeah, but the result is so rewarding when you're able to showcase these people and tell their stories and just see the gratitude that they have that you've been able to truly just take the time to get to know them, learn their story, and then actually want to put it out there for the world to see. Like the result is a lot of hard work, but the result always pays off.
It is amazing, and I remember when I was young, maybe 15, 16, and me in my country, I like to, pass the sheets on the magazines, and it is a way to travel into the time, to travel into the ideas, to travel into dreams, traveling through projects. So it's very important. Many of the times people we used not to take the amazing or the helpful that a magazine, a book can be helpful in your own life. So yeah, it takes time, it takes your life, it takes your mind, but I can imagine how you know how big is for you as a person doing all this job is, you know.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of different roles.
Yeah, Ray, for those people, I always say, because for me, it has been a little difficult to grow and get where I am right now, and it's still growing. But for a person, your person, or person that is just building themselves, growing, and trying to discover what is the right way, what is the advice for these people?
So for me, honestly, everything for me honestly starts with God first. I always want to be walking in the purpose that He has for me and just speaking to Him, speaking to the Holy Spirit, asking for that guidance on whatever it is I need to do, showing me areas that I need to grow in and work on. And honestly, after that, it's just really taking the time to do the work. And it's hard to break a lot of bad habits that you may have. Getting more organized, getting up early, which is like one of the things that was hardest for me is to get up early so you can actually get things done, cutting out some of the distractions, TV, music, things like that, picking up a book instead to read, making a goal to maybe read like one book a month or every 2 months, something like that, getting a journal to journal all your thoughts down as well, exercising, and then also writing, having a task like an agenda so you can write out all your tasks. And you might not get to everything, but at least with the agenda you're more organized and you can work on those goals. And then also work on doing like your harder task first, right? And then also as well, networking, communicating with people, finding a group of like-minded people like you that can push you and keep you going forward, because it's really hard. Entrepreneurship and a lot of things in general could just be very hard and very lonely, especially in the world that we now. It's just so much harder to make genuine connections with people. So honestly, if you could just find a group of people maybe in the same field as you, who have the same type of goals as you, and get connected so you can have some type of accountability, that also really helps as well.
Yeah. And for many people, it's very difficult to change the habits, the life habits. But yeah, it's the key to change what you are and become something new. Not different, but add something new to you. And
Mm-hmm.
and I'm asking this because I know the year is running and is getting at the end 2024, and I always like to plan. November, December is to plan for next year. So, what is next for you next year?
Oh man, so next year, well, of course, we have our editions coming out. They come out every 3 months right now. So I guess the end of next year, the beginning of this year, actually, we'll be having our third edition come out in January. But we are going to be doing a couple things. I can't talk too much about it, but right now, but we are working on trying to do something amazing at the beginning of the year to celebrate the Afro Latina community, like an in-person type thing. So I'm working on that right now. And then of course, there's more editions of the magazine as well. And yeah, that's mostly it. It's
That's great.
just trying to like next edition out. the next from Mexico, but she's living in the Atlanta area, which is where I live at. So I'm very excited for that for y'all to see everything we're going to be doing with that.
That's great. That is amazing. And yeah, hopefully everything going well. And again, can you share your contact where people can contact you and get in touch with you?
Of course. So of course the website is tesonmagazine.com. So you can go on there. It has all of our contact information, but also you can contact me as well at info@tesonmagazine.com if you want to reach out to me personally. And then, of course, you can shoot a DM on Teson Magazine on Instagram as well. I respond on there as well.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. So now it's time to translate, to speak in Spanish for our
Okay.
Latin and Hispanic community, Afro community too. Um, Gracias por estar aquí, Rey. ¿Puedes introducirte con nuestra comunidad latina hispana, por favor?
Claro, me llamo Rey White y soy la fundadora y directora de la revista Teson Magazine. Teson Magazine es una revista que destaca la comunidad afro-latina aquí en los Estados Unidos, pero también en Latinoamérica. Así que tenemos mucho alcance en otros países como Colombia, Cuba, la República Dominicana, Panamá, Venezuela, Perú, Ecuador. Así, entonces tenemos mucho alcance por todos lados.
Qué bueno, es muy bueno saber. Muchas veces nosotros vemos revistas, tú sabes, estando en los Estados Unidos vemos revistas, pero como muchas de nuestra comunidad no sabe inglés, mucha de nuestra comunidad no toma ese tiempo de mirar qué publicaciones hay. Es interesante descubrir nuevos productos que podamos, sentamos nosotros que es nuestro y que podemos leer y que podemos encontrar, identificarnos con nuestras raíces, pero también con contenido que nos hagan crecer, que nos hagan pensar de una manera diferente. Antes de que se acabe el tiempo, que nos corre el tiempo porque vuela, ¿dónde las personas te pueden contactar, encontrar o leer tu revista?
Claro, bueno, está disponible por todos lados. La digital, tenemos ese digital, es gratis, lo puede leer en tesonmagazine.com. Eso es Teson magazine, como en inglés.com. Y también tenemos redes sociales de Teson Magazine en Instagram y también en Facebook y también en YouTube. Y en TikTok es teson.magazine.
Gracias, Rey. ¿Y cómo empezaste este proyecto?
Bueno, yo soy de Georgia y yo aprendí español en la escuela y yo tengo mi licenciatura y todo eso en español. Y bueno, después de estudiar, después de graduarme, empecé mi carrera como intérprete en hospital. Y después de 8 años yo decidí hacer la revista porque yo no vi mucha representación afro-latina en los medios de comunicación. Así que decidí que yo quería hacer algo para ayudar a traer más conciencia a esa comunidad afro-latina.
Muy bien. Y es bueno integrar la diversidad. Yo le platicaba a Rey hace un momento. No sabemos cuántos grupos se identifican diferente, afro-latinas, latinex, hispano, latino, mucha diversidad de grupos, pero realmente todos somos lo mismo. Como por ejemplo, es importante destacar que Rey, ella es nativa de Georgia, pero el interés de aprender otro idioma, el requisito en la escuela de aprender otro idioma, la hizo crecer. Y me da gusto y me siento contenta de poder presentar al público hispano-latino el ejemplo de mira cómo empezaste y mira dónde has llegado y ha sido por cambiar modos de tu vida, pero también integrar un nuevo lenguaje en tu diario vivir. Entonces, como siempre digo, Todos podemos salir adelante de una o de otra forma. A veces lo quieras o no, te lleva a un lugar donde nunca te esperas qué es lo que va a hacer de tu vida, cómo va a cambiar tu vida. Entonces, es algo que tenemos de que tomar en cuenta. Y pues sí, salir adelante. Y como siempre, tratando de buscar el mejor ejemplo, la mejor ayuda. Y la pregunta para ti, Rey, para las personas que están buscando encontrar su vida profesional, crecer profesional y personalmente, dime tú qué hábitos has usado o qué recomiendas, especialmente para, bueno, para todos en general, pero para nuestros jóvenes que tú sabes, se confunden, no saben para dónde ir, tienen la idea, pero no pueden, por alguna razón no pueden caminar adelante.
Claro, bueno, como ya mencioné, para mí personalmente siempre es súper importante tener algún tipo de relación con Dios para que tenga ese tipo de dirección, para que tenga ese tipo de confirmación de tu propósito. Y, y también después de eso, tú tienes que hacer el trabajo, ¿verdad? Es que tú tienes que dejar de tener tantas distracciones como la tele, como y las redes sociales, TikTok. No, tú no puedes pasar 5 horas en TikTok si tú quieres alcanzar a tus metas, ¿no? Y también tiene que organizarte, tiene que tener una agenda, algo así para organizar todas tus tareas. Y también tú necesitas conectar con otra gente como tú, que tiene la misma mentalidad, que también quiere ir adelante. Tú tienes que encontrar algún tipo de grupo, tienes que hacer networking y todo eso, porque es muy difícil hacerlo solo y no debes hacerlo solo. Así que, y también tiene que cuidarte a tú misma, tiene que cuidar tu salud, tiene que hacer ejercicio, comer bien, todas esas cosas afectan a tu mentalidad y tu productividad.
Eso es real. Yo hace días platicaba con una sobrina y le decía, tú sabes, yo crecí en México y a nosotros a veces nos sentíamos mal, nos sentíamos tristes, no queríamos levantarnos de la cama y tú sabes, en esos tiempos nuestros papás solo dicen, a trabajar y muévete porque esto y muévete porque el otro. Nosotros no tomábamos en serio, ni sabíamos de depresión, ni sabíamos de enfermedades mentales, no sabíamos de nada. Ahora yo tengo mis hijos y ahora comprendo, tú sabes, el nivel emocional que cada persona puede cargar. Ahora entiendo y soy más flexible. A entender, a ayudar, a comprender, a dar espacio. Y qué importante es esto para el crecimiento personal y profesional. Bueno, yo te agradezco mucho, Rey. El tiempo está corriendo, pero me interesaría, tú sabes, poder conocernos en persona, y continuar nuestra conversación en otro momento. Y para toda nuestra audiencia hispana, latina, tomen en cuenta estos consejos, son importantes. Y si jóvenes nos están mirando, pónganse las pilas. Se puede hacer dejando ese teléfono afuera, contactando con gente, solo ir afuera y pedir una oportunidad. Hay mucha gente tan flexible que te entiende y podría mirar en ti capacidades que otras personas no miran. Y no nomás a los jóvenes, sino también gente adulta como yo, como otras personas más grandes. Am, Antes de despedirnos, quiero dejarles saber, no olviden, la elección es el martes, noviembre 5. Salgan a votar, es importante más que otros tiempos. Ustedes saben. Pero les dejo dicho esta fecha importante. Entonces, también quiero agradecer a WCEG Network por la plataforma que nos da de comunicarnos, de ofrecer esta información y el tiempo, el tiempo. And thank you so much, Ray, for being with us today. Thank you for all the advisement. Or share your story with us and let us know part of your job. I hope this conversation can extend it in another time, another conversation. I also want to thank WCEG Network for the platform, the time, and put all this together to share the content and share resources, share information. And remember, this year is gonna be ending, but there's gonna be another year. Fears God. and we have to change a little bit, and we have to put new goals, and we have to create a new world. Thank you so much. I hope see you next year.
Muchas gracias. Muchas gracias por la invitación. Thank you so much, Ramona. Thank you so much, WCEG, for having me, for allowing me to spend some time with y'all, tell my story. I appreciate y'all so much.
Mm.